one thing it was interesting, it came up in the conversation with deadmau5 yesterday during our keynote.
Great conversation, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, it was a blast. But and the guy's so knowledgeable too. But one of the things that he brought up that I thought was pretty interesting was that with when you're in the streaming audience for an event that is happening live somewhere else, there's a little bit of an element to it where these people on site are having this experience, and the folks in the streaming audience are just kind of peeking in through the blinds, and just kind of having this, very secondary at best experience. There's that element to it where we're just, you're not there, you're not where it's happening. But John, certainly, the work that you do, I mean, you're working for these kind of high level premium brands, and your job is to deliver an experience that is going to meet all of their expectations and is going to be more than just peeking in on something else, something that's happening somewhere else. So, can you just talk a little bit of that, and also just sort of to what the objectives are for brand marketers? I mean, what are their key objectives in presenting live streams of tentpole events to a target audience, and how do you meet those expectations?
Sure. I think the advertising industry has been estimated to be like a $503 trillion industry, and it's also, over the past 20 to 30 years, the most disrupted industry with the advent of and the emergence of the internet. So what we have seen in talking to these brands, and we started these conversations early, is they would convey to us, we've got some challenges. We've got cord cutting, ad blocking, and brand safety problems, right? And how can live video help us address and solve those challenges? In addition, I think the average human attention span has been cut in half in the last 20 years, gone from 16 seconds down to 8, and probably even shorter for the younger generation. So the emerging objective for them, also you add in the fact that can no longer track people with iOS 14. So there's another $1 billion of media inventory that needs to be redeployed or reinvested in some way. But the big thing has really emerged is watch time, right? If you can help us solve that challenge or open up, an engagement with somebody for beyond that small micro bucket of time, that's intriguing, and that's of interest to us far more than the size of the audience or even the total concurrence. For brands, we have found if they do this the right way and present something, they can unlock 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes of watch time. And then it becomes, what do you as a brand marketer want to do? And we have pretty big clients who are some of the best brand marketers on the face of the earth, and it's up to them. Is it customer acquisition, customer retention? Do they want to do just brand awareness? In some cases, it may be they want to introduce a new product. They might want to sell something. And the real successful outcome of that clearly is watch time. And I think they've come to the conclusion that the consumer that they want to reach today is not watching Law and Order on NBC on Thursday night and sitting through the State Farm commercial, right? That's not the way they're going to connect and reach these individuals. And in parallel, I think almost all of the last 5 or 8 years, all the social media platforms have now put forth some sort of a live stack or live set of capabilities. Some certainly have more robust capabilities and advantages than others, and we live across a lot of them. Some of them are clients, but the real I think the takeaway and what the brands are gravitating towards is that that watch time. And there's a whole industry, I think, to be developed around experiential marketing is still a big thing, and certainly post pandemic it's front and center. But the ability to just they've funded that experience, they've booked it, they've brought the talent in, they've reserved whatever room or whatever arena, if you will, and to just simply take a video experience and layer that in and amplify that out to a much bigger audience that's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40 times what's in the room. But also, if you do this right, they're going to be engaged, for an extended period of time. And some of the data that comes from that too is pretty compelling. Where people are, how long they're watching, what device they're on, even what operating system they're on. And that's pretty compelling marketing data. And what we see as a result of that is people moving towards a cadence and doing this. We've worked with AT&T. I think we've done 20 plus shows for them over the last couple of years. That's becomes really valuable. Now they can remarket, they can take some of those learnings from both the watch time and the reporting metrics and build strategies around that. And to me, what I'm seeing is that's a far better spend than, you know, traditional, call it commercials, especially if you're trying to reach a Gen Z or a younger millennial consumer.
Yeah, you raise an interesting point, John. Like from a marketing vehicle standpoint, I mean, this is like kind of how esports kind of runs, you know, today from some of those events. But it's really like from a business standpoint, like when does it become not marketing and when it becomes like a sustainable business, you know? So you look at like the Netflixes of the world, those kind of things, those guys are running at hyperscale across the globe in VOD and stuff, and now starting to get into live streaming or the promise of getting into live streaming. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that business model kind of sustains in some of these folks that are moving from more of a, you know, VOD type thing, but also just like having events that are based around marketing of a product, let alone, you know, a concert series. If you were going to, like, Universal Music Group would do a concert series for some of their jazz artists on their label, and they would, you know, bring in that as some kind of business to generate money for putting on these live shows. But they're probably not thinking about it from, I'm just going to do this for marketing to sell records, you know. It's so, yeah, it's fascinating to see kind of where the market could be in 2 years from now as either sustainable businesses fold and it becomes more of a marketing vehicle again, or marketing kind of can drive a sustainable business.